Hi everyone, my name is Selena DeVries and I'm a registered dietitian, and today we are making lemon blueberry muffins as part of Gluten-Free Canada's recipe series. So let's go ahead and get started. So the very first thing we're going to be doing is measuring out our flour and our ground flax. So a really cool little trick that you can use when you're making gluten-free quick breads, like muffins, pancakes, or a loaf, is you can actually sub out ground flax for a quarter of the flour called for in your gluten-free recipe, which is substantially gonna up the fiber content of your recipe as well as omega-3. So that's what I've done in this recipe. So we're gonna go ahead and add in 1 cup of ground flax. Tons of fiber in that, which is so awesome, because that is one thing that we need to pay special attention to in our diet. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in some gluten-free all-purpose flour. Now I love using Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 gluten-free flour. It's a great blend. It works out quite well in a lot of recipes, and you can just switch it out for regular flour to the gluten-free. Now, when you're measuring gluten-free flour, or when you're trying to translate a recipe from your favorite gluten-filled to gluten-free, it's really important to measure your flour correctly, because the outcome can change drastically if your flour is overpacked. So the best way to measure flour is actually to spoon it into your measuring cup and then level it off with a knife, and then that'll prevent any sort of crumbly texture at the very end or too dense like a puck at the very end. So we've got 2 cups of the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 that we're gonna add into these muffins. And we'll just give that a little stir. Then we're gonna add in all of our other traditional ingredients. So because we've got that ground flax in here, we do need a little bit more moisture and a little bit more binding. So we've got 4 eggs that we're going to be adding to this recipe. And then we're going to be adding in a little bit of sugar. So we've got half of a cup of sugar. Now this recipe made 18 muffins, so over a dozen. Then we're gonna add in a cup of almond milk. And I'm a really lazy baker in the kitchen, so I love just making everything in one bowl. Put in the dry ingredients and then put in all of the wet ingredients and mix it right up. Then we've got our olive oil, baking powder, and then we're really gonna punch this flavor up a notch, and we're gonna add in lots of lemon zest. Lemon goes wonderfully with blueberries. It's such an awesome flavor combo. And finally,
we're gonna go ahead and mix this all together. So you just wanna do it, you really can't over mix a gluten-free batter because gluten is the one that causes the batter to get over elastic or over tight, and this is gluten-free, so you don't really need to worry about over mixing. Okay, so we're gonna mix that up, and then we're gonna go ahead and add in some fresh blueberries. Now you could easily use frozen blueberries, but if you do use frozen blueberries, add them in at the very end and just take them out of the freezer at the very end, or else they will probably turn your whole batter purple. Which, in all honesty, it's not a big deal to have purple muffins, but just a heads up. All right, so there you have it. So those are our lemon blueberry muffins with ground flax. So we're gonna pour this into our muffin tin. And this is gonna make about 16 to 18 muffins. And you want to fill the tins up to almost the top. So a lot of the times it calls for 3/4, fill the tin 3/4. I like to fill them right to the top because gluten-free muffins don't rise as much as a gluten-filled muffin. Okay, so at this point in the recipe, you could easily just bake these off and they would be super delicious. But what I'm gonna do is something which is a little extra special for these muffins, is I'm going to add in a oat crumble. So many people with celiac disease can tolerate oats, but it is really important that we use a special type of variety of oats called Purity Protocol oats, so that they're safe for people with celiac disease. So I really like to use the brand Only Oats for our safe oats for those with celiac. If you are somebody that can't tolerate oats, you could easily substitute in here buckwheat flakes or quinoa flakes. So we are going to have some oats in here, a little bit of flour, a little bit of sugar, and some melted butter. We're just gonna mix that up. That's a really simple crumble. That's really all it is, just 4 ingredients. Adds a really lovely texture onto the muffin. And then just give it a little topping, about a tablespoon on top of each muffin. Now, if you're someone like me that really loves topping, like you're somebody that loves the crisp topping on apple crisp, then go ahead and just double the topping on your muffins. That's totally fine. The muffin will be able to handle it. It won't sink to the bottom. Make sure they're all even as much as possible. And then, there you have it. Those are our lemon blueberry muffins with an oatmeal crumble. So we're gonna bake this at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes until a knife inserted in the middle comes out clean. So there we have it, our lemon blueberry muffins with oat crumble. Enjoy.
So if you've been newly diagnosed with celiac disease, there's definitely some things you need to know. So definitely watch out for cross-contamination in the kitchen, cross-contamination in the grocery store, and there's also some supplements that you can probably pick up to bring down this inflammation, especially if you're not actually sure when you first were maybe the gene got turned on and you were undiagnosed for several years. So some definitely good supplements to grab would be some vitamin D, some omega-3s, and maybe some really good probiotics.